For this session, you will need some small objects that you're going to jump over, a tennis racket. You could use a plastic bat, table tennis bat, anything with a handle really, some tennis balls, or if you're really thinking outside the box, ask a responsible adult if you can use an old frying pan and just a couple of soft balls there. Hi everyone, I'm John, and in this little session we've got a tennis send and receive session in 3 parts. First we've got a small warm-up, and then hopefully moving the ball a little bit, and then hopefully bringing a racket or something similar in to actually send the ball. You can do this on your own, or you can do it in pairs, or if you've got someone else around to jump in, and we'll come to that later on. Okay, for the warm-up, I've just spread some simple items around the space. Hopefully you can do this either inside or outside in a small space like this. I'm a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit tighter for me. But really just spread out some small objects. I've got some little books, and we're just going to jog around the area, jumping over them. Okay? Okay, so we're going to try and do different jumps now for, say, a couple of minutes at a time. So your first one is taking off on 2 feet and landing on 2 feet, just like this. Okay, after a minute, you're going to try jumping off from 2 feet. I'm going to try and hold it for a second or so, okay? Third one, opposite way around, so take off on 1 and land on 2. Okay, nice and simple. That's your warm-up. Might seem simple actually, but in tennis, lots and lots of the skill is actually around your feet, your footwork, and how quickly you can move them. So lots of agility with your jumping and your warm-up there will help you with your tennis skills. We'll come back for part 2. Okay, so part 2, and we're going to start sending some of these balls to try and hit our object. So there's 2 main things that we're going to try and remember here, and that's, number 1 is stay side on. So if the object we're trying to hit is over there, my shoulders outwards pointing towards it. This would be straight on, where my body's facing the object and the ball's in front of me. So side on with my shoulder pointing out and the ball in between my toes. Okay. It may help if you want to kneel down like this on your knees, depending on how tall you are and how easy you're finding it. Okay, so I'm quite tall, so I'm going to come down on my knees, but you can do the same up on your feet. Okay, so as long as we're side on with our shoulder pointing to the object rather than our body open. Okay, the second thing is making sure that our palm is open like this. Now what we're really practicing today is a forehand, a basic forehand shot. Okay, so the open palm is going to face again our object, so that when we come through like this, the open palm stays facing forward the whole time. So taking one ball at a time, pop it down, make a little triangle with your knees and the ball, so it's just going to go right in the middle there. The ball's going to start on the floor, and you're just going to place the open palm of the ball, your open palm on top of the ball like this, and roll it off towards the object, trying to hit your object. Okay, you just see that again. So I'm not hitting the ball, and placing it on first and rolling it down towards the object. Just missed. Last one, I'll try with a different kind of ball. Notice as well that my fingers are always pointing backwards away from the object. So again, that palm's nice and open. We don't want to turn our hand over the top like that and run it away, or side on. Get our fingers pointing backwards, roll it off like that. Okay, have some fun with it. 5 minutes, 20 minutes, see how many times you can hit it. If you're finding you hitting it quite a lot, you could move the object further away. If you are finding it very difficult, obviously bring it a little bit closer, or you could use a slightly larger ball to make that easier. They're the biggest ones I've got, but you could use a slightly larger ball if you want, like a football even. The important thing is to make sure that we're side on and that we're using an open palm which is facing the object. Okay, so we're on part 3, and now we're going to use a racket to try and send the ball to hit our target. Okay, so as with before, we're going to put a ball on the floor. It's not going to be bouncing or in the air. We're going to hit it along the floor. Probably stand up for this one, because obviously you've got a racket at the end of your hand that's going to hit the ball along. So I'm going to use a racket, and I'm going to give it a little go with a frying pan as well, just so it can be done. So we're going to set up in the same way. Our body's going to be side on with our shoulder facing the object over there, and our palm is going to be facing forwards all the time. You'll see the importance now of being able to show your palm to the object the whole way along. So as we're holding our racket or bat, we're going to draw it back, and we're just going to try and make a lovely straight line right through the ball all the way to our object. Okay, so side on, palm facing forward, and we're just going to draw a nice straight line to try and hit the object. What I've done is set 3 up, and I've made the last one really, really small. So that one's going to be my little challenge, to try and hit that one that's right at the back there. Okay, so again, side on, palm facing our object, draw it back, and you can see there's a sort of curved shape like this. My racket makes a sort of curved shape as it comes through, and we're going to draw a straight line all the way through the ball and to our object. Wow, you managed to hit that one over. That was a good one, wasn't it? And then lastly, I might have to get on my knees for this one. It's the old kitchen pan. Next. Okay, again, you can have lots of fun with that. Set up different objects, see if you can hit them down, knock the objects over, I mean. As many balls as you've got, and this is where, if you have someone who you want to play with, if there's someone at the other end up there, they can either send them back. If you've got a second racket, they can send it back and try and knock the objects over as well. Or at that point, you're actually really just playing a little game of floor tennis. So your partner can try and stop the ball as it's coming towards them. A little demonstration. So if the ball is rolling off from it's been hit, they can try and splat it down on the floor like that, and then send it back to you along the floor with the same shot. Okay. Great, have lots of fun. Take your time with it. Hopefully it'll be a nice day like this. You can get outside, or inside should work just as well. Send us your attempts. Post them on here or on our social feed. Yeah, have lots of fun. See you later.